His morning crew with Rob, Allison, and Jim.
Now, here's a very familiar voice that you know here on his radio for over about 30 years now.
On today's Focus on the Family, your host is Focus President and author Jim Daly, and I'm John Fuller.
John Fuller is with his radio this morning. We're so grateful for the time today.
I'm so glad to be here finally, Rob. It's been, how long has it been? I mean, we've known each other for 20-some years.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever been here before, so it's fun to watch you all. This is a crazy beehive kind of activity here.
There's a lot.
And you don't drink coffee, right? So you're just naturally caffeinated?
Oh, I'm like this, coffee or not. In the middle of the night, it just kind of
Some people might say
like
there's
that.
medication for that, but I think it's good to channel it right here. This is good.
You know, so you've been married since 1984.
Uh-huh.
You have like a litter of kids, from what I understand.
Six. They do litter a lot, yeah.
They do litter a lot. And speaking of coffee, you're a huge coffee drinker.
I have 3 kids in the coffee business. One of them started a shop, and 2 of them work at shops, independent shops in Colorado Springs. And so somebody said, "Oh, you raise coffee kids." And it's like, no, we breed coffee kids, which is a good thing. I think coffee's a good drug. I mean, it's natural.
Yeah. You wanted to go to one of their grand openings. What was it, Loyal Coffee?
Loyal Coffee was my son's. Oh, you saw that, yeah.
Yes.
And I had to be in Hawaii that day that they decided to open.
Horrible.
Yeah, my heart was
So
really
sad.
torn between should I stay in town for my son or should I go to Hawaii with my wife. Opted for the wife.
Yeah, so that's why you mentioned in your
There's the
your
picture.
tweet on Twitter that you made a wrong turn.
Yeah, we did. We made a severely wrong turn, but it's okay because I had a bag of Loyal Coffee with me. I see the picture up there behind you. That's nice. That's a great memory.
You were representing all the way in
I'm
Hawaii.
trying to support him. You know, you want to support your kids as much as you can, but the truth is sometimes you're going to miss the big basketball game, or in this case, the big business grand opening.
Well, and it sounds like you missed some sort of dental work because you found something random in
Is
your
it that
car.
apparent right here?
No.
My teeth are that bad?
You said that you found something crazy in your car. You cleaned it out, and there were wisdom teeth?
Yeah, well, I don't know what that was about. I still don't know
You
whose they
still-
were.
You still... Okay, that's just
How do you...
No, it was one of my kids, and I don't know why. My wife is so not sentimental. She is like, throw it out. Just throw it. You know, the kids bring home, here's a report card. And she's like, great, and throws it in the recycle bin. She doesn't hold anything. But yes, wisdom teeth have been found in the car for some odd reason.
How
That's
long were
weird.
they
Don't
there?
post that picture. I have no clue.
You posted the picture.
Well,
What? You don't mean don't post that picture.
Okay, this is proof positive that anything you put online is going to be. It's there. You can't
fair
erase
game.
it.
I know.
What other interesting tidbits do you have from social media about me?
Well, we've noticed that a part of your story is all the kids that you have. And there was one day that you're driving down the road and 5 of your kids are in the car and you realize, okay, there's something missing here.
Yeah, we did forget a child one time, but it was only for a few miles. We turned around. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. It was like at a rest stop, I think.
Oh,
I don't-
really?
Yeah, you might have to remind me of that story. Which kid was
talking more,
that?
I guess, about emotionally. You were at church and you do that thing that big families do. You counted all your kids, but you had this feeling.
Oh, you're talking
that's-
about the pre-adoption
Yes,
story. Yes,
something was
okay.
missing. Not that an actual child was.
No,
missing
we
at
did that
point.
too one time. I mean,
Although,
honest, we
I quite
turned
enjoyed
around.
that story.
Yeah, there was a time when the kids walked out single file by age and height, and I was counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and at the end of the 5th one, I just sort of felt like the Lord said, "Yeah, that 5. You can do one more," and I really thought in my heart, we could do one more. And I told my wife that, and she said, well, that's interesting because I've been praying. And I mean, months later, we finally realized God was clearly indicating it's time to grow the family through adoption. That's a whole nother story, though. That was a great moment, though, when I shared that with her, and it was sort of like, it just felt like there's room for one more. And there was some pride there. 5. We could do 5. Let's do 6. How hard can it be? And the Lord said, well, it could be really hard. And he's decimated me through that 6th child. He's crushed me through that 6th child, but it's been a good crushing.
Okay, let's talk more about the good crushing because I'm in the beginning stages of adopting.
Go,
we started
go.
about a year ago. So what message can you give someone like me who's still looking up at a mountain, that I have to go through to get this child?
Make sure you're called. If the Lord gives you an exit ramp and you feel like you should take it, take it. Otherwise, and this is the thing, okay? So we prayed for for over a year and a half with our kids about the right child to come in the home. He's special needs. He's got autism, and he is intense. He's pretty high functioning, but he is a 24/7 project. And I mean, literally 24/7. He gets up at 2 in the morning and wanders the house for an hour and a half. We're starting to have almost as many cameras as his radio studio just to track him and to see what he's up to. And the Lord has used him to bring me closer to the Father and to understand God's grace, His patience, His love for us. And so if the Lord has you on that track, take it and be ready for anything He brings. A lot of people adopt it. It's just a swimmingly easy, wonderful thing. For us, it was a long process. It has not been easy. I have a lot of friends who are empty nesters. I still have a 13-year-old who, by the way, when I picked him up at the last day of school, said, "Dad, I passed 7th grade and I don't know how." And I looked at him and I thought, I don't know how either. You did everything you could not to pass 7th grade. But these are all memories and good reminders that God is gracious. He's patient. So keep at it. It's a wonderful, wonderful gift. I would not trade one day, even the hardest days with that kid. He's wonderful. He's great.
John Fuller is spending time with us here at his radio this morning. You know the voice from Focus on the Family. That's not the short part of your adoption story, because even your sister is adopted, from what I understand.
I just got to spend some time with her. She lives over in the Charlotte area, and that was actually probably the first seed that God planted in my life. I remember being 6 years old, and she was, this is before car seat belts. So my parents are there, my mom is holding her, and I'm in the middle, and I was so happy to get a sister. She was like a couple of months old. I slept under her crib. I was so happy to not be the only child.
Oh.
It didn't stay that way a long time, but we've reconnected, and it's great. I love her very, very much.
You've really become an advocate for adoption.
Yeah.
So why are you so excited about what you're seeing in the church in regards to adoption?
I think it's the wave, right? I mean, take care of the widows and the orphans. We're not doing so well on the widows part, but we are starting to do well on the adoption part and the orphans. There are so many orphans. You can do foster care. You can do respite for foster care parents. You can do so many different things. You don't have to just adopt. But there are millions of orphans. And we, the church, there are millions of us. If we all would just step in and do something, and I believe the church is starting to do this in such a way that we're gonna demonstrate to the world the love of Jesus by taking care of these kids who have no voice, who have no hope. And on the one end of the spectrum is the adoption. On the other end is going and visiting and holding babies in orphanages. There's so much in that spectrum, but reaching out and demonstrating the love of God to people who have no voice, who have no choice, they are victims of a system that doesn't care for them, and that's the enemy destroying families, separating kids from parents. He wreaks havoc, but when we step in, there's a great restoration that God does. And He works on our hearts, too. It's not just, I'm going to be so compassionate and I'm going to be so helpful. No, it's about you, too, Allison. So as you follow that path of adoption or orphan care, God's going to bless. He's going to bless in ways that may not be comfortable, but He's going to bless, and He's going to do some amazing things. I'm not a prophet, but I'm just saying.
I'll receive that.
Yeah. So inspiring. Thank you for spending time with us this morning.
Thank you. It's a joy.